Yo, what is up,
Yo, what is up,
everybody?
everybody?
Hey, Matt, what's
Hey,
up, man?
Matt, what's up, man?
How's it going, everybody? Tim, it's going really well. Just kind of getting ready for another work week here. Trying to get my house in order here, to get ready for tomorrow and start another work week. But other than that, man, all is well. Can't complain.
Nice. On
Nice.
tonight's
On tonight's
episode of
episode of
KSB
KSB
Storytime,
Storytime,
we are going
we
to be
are going to be
talking about
talking about
family
family
life,
life,
dorm
dorm
life,
life,
graduation,
graduation,
and
Yeah,
and
summertime
summertime
fun.
fun.
I've been waiting for this one for a while. This is the one I've kind of been pushing for a while to really to talk about it. So I'm excited to talk about all these different aspects and how family ties into
To
To
all
KSB.
of
KSB.
to all of KSB and why it's important and still is important today. So I'm excited to get into it.
Yes.
Yes.
And one thing
And
I would
one
like
thing
to
I would
start
like to
off
start off
with
with
by
by
saying is
saying is
RIP to
R.I.P.
Miss
to Miss
Elizabeth
Elizabeth
Oaks,
Oaks,
Pat
Pat
Wheatley, and
Wheatley,
Pat
and Pat
Sanders.
Sanders.
Yeah, all of them great women. All of them had well, they were my dorm parents, all three. I got the
Hmm.
pleasure of knowing all of them and knowing their different personalities, and uh, they were all good women, all good mothers to us in their own right. So, um, kind of happy belated late Mother's Day to them because they were very good mothers. I think they're kind of like mothers away from home. I think is a good kind of way to explain that.
Right.
Right.
See, when we were at
See, when we were at
KSB,
KSB,
we were away from
we
our
were away
actual
from our
families,
actual families,
unless you went home
unless you went home
during the
during
week.
the week.
Yeah,
So
and
for
they
So
the
for
and
the
they call that being a day student. So
yes,
yes,
being a day student would be akin to being as if you were in a regular public school. You would go to the school itself, and then you would go home after. But for those of
mm,
us who lived far apart from our family, I mean, say if we were, I mean, take me for example. I was 6 hours from my family. My family was all the way here in Harlan. They used to be. They're not anymore. Um, that was 6 hours. So everybody, teachers and the students there were kind of like your brothers and sisters and your aunts, uncles, moms, dads away from home. And so a lot of those experiences came from dorm life and things of that nature.
oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Now with
Now with
me,
me,
I was
I was
only
only
maybe an
maybe
hour
an
away,
hour
but
away,
still
but
I
still
stayed
I
on
stayed on
campus.
campus.
So
So
I think
I
Matt,
think
you and
Matt,
I
you and
both
I both
came at
came
the
at
age
the
of
age
five,
of five,
respectively.
respectively.
Yeah, absolutely. I so my introduction to it was I was 4.5. Um,
Hmm.
my parents was introduced to it by a woman in our comp care system who came to our house and gave word of the school to them. So they made the trip to kind of check everything out, and we took a tour. I don't know how I remember all this. It's crazy. I was actually having a conversation with my mom the other day, and she's like, "How do you remember everything?" I don't know. I just have a very good memory. So we took a tour. They liked it, and it started that August. So I just turned 5, um, and I think that was what in
91.
91,
91.
91, 90. It's somewhere, I don't know,
It was
but it
91.
was very cool. We got to go on the Belle of Louisville, and this was before I actually started the school. So we took a tour of the school. I went on the Belle of Louisville, and I got to see Mr. Jerry Ennis for the first time on the Belle of Louisville. It was really cool.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
Oh, nice.
yeah, so that's where that kind of came out, and got to meet Mr. Bill Greenlee. Um,
Hmm.
very good person too. First time meeting him, and then I was introduced to the late Mrs. Elizabeth Oaks. So
Hmm.
it was good times all around.
Yes, for me,
Yes,
my
for me,
introduction
my
came
introduction
in
came
the form
in the
of
form
a
of
friend of mine's
a friend of
grandfather,
mine's grandfather,
the late Jerry
the late
Cameron,
Jerry
whose nickname
Cameron,
was
whose
Slick.
nickname was Slick.
Okay.
And
And
Slick,
Slick,
his
his
son,
son,
is
is
my friend's
my friend's
adopted
adopted
father.
father.
And
And
Slick told my mom about the
my mom
school,
about the
so
school, so
we all went up
we
there
all
and
went up there and
saw it. Oh, this is
saw it.
great. We
Oh,
got to
this is
get him
great. We
in
got to get
there.
him in there.
So they had to go
So they
before a
had to go before
board
a board
to get me in. It
to get
wasn't
me
just
in.
something you
It
could
wasn't
just
just
come
something you
in
could just come in
and poof, there you
and
are.
poof,
You
there
had
you
to be
are. You
accepted
had
into
to be
this thing.
accepted into this thing.
You had to meet
You
Right.
had to
criteria.
meet criteria.
And
And
I got in,
I got in,
and I got
and I got
introduced
introduced
to Ms.
to
Oaks
Ms. Oaks
and Miss Pat.
and Miss Pat.
And,
And
Matt, you probably
Matt,
suffered through
you
this
probably
too,
suffered through this too.
homesickness.
Homesickness.
I remember, especially, and I don't know if it was just me, but I took to it, and I just because I just remember it so well, I took to it like I think maybe it was the first like day or two, and I was just like, well, yeah, I'm gonna miss my parents, but there was all these new people around me, and I was always a curious person at heart, so I was
Mhm.
just always wanting to know
Right.
Right.
everything about the school, my friends, like who are these people. So I wasn't so much. I was surrounded by a lot of students who was. Um, but I just kind of took to the school. I felt like I belonged there. I don't know how you explain that, but I felt like I belonged there the minute I started. Um, and I'll get more into that here in a little bit with my family life and things. I had a good family. I mean, we had our ups and downs like everybody else, but I think there were times where I our family went through a divorce, and this was about through my
Mhm.
middle school years, and I had endured some uh, kind of abuse at home, and other things I'll touch on in another video that want to talk about, but um, that kind of helped me kind of going there, taking a break from that, kind of helped me relieve some of the stress and kind of get to talk to the people that were there, the teachers and my friends, and so I got to ask them about family advice and um, that's what I was talking about last video. Is there were a few teachers that I really liked because of that because they really did care. They were genuine about their jobs. They loved what they did. Um, and I very much love them for that because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have got through my home situation. So
Oh yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean
I mean,
the family
the
aspect. I
family
remember for
aspect.
me,
I
it took
remember for me,
maybe
it took
about a
maybe
week
about a week
to get used to everything
to get
because
used to
I was so
everything
used to
because I
being
was
at
so used to
home,
being at home,
and here I was in
and
a
here I was in
strange
a
new
strange new
place,
place, you know,
unfamiliar.
unfamiliar.
yeah,
But when I
But when
got
I
into
got
it, and I
into
met
it, and
my
I met my
friend,
friend,
the late
the late
Paris W.
Paris W.
Thomas,
Thomas,
R.I.P. to him.
R.I.P. to him.
yeah, yeah.
The late Jacob
The
King,
late Jacob
R.I.P. to
King,
him.
R.I.P. to him.
Ah, yeah, Jacob King. And I
Yes,
miss
Yes.
I miss Jacob and Jeremy. They were always
yes,
Yes,
Jeremy Cameron
Jeremy
was a part of
Cameron
that
was a
crew
part of that
too.
crew too.
a team. So I miss the both of them.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
But yeah,
But
I
yeah, I
remember when
remember
I
when I
started,
started,
and I got
and I got
things rolling
things rolling
into the system. It
into the
was
system.
really,
It was
really just
really
clicking,
just
and
clicking, and
things were just
things
going
were just
well.
going
So
well. So
as far as
as far
family
as family
aspect,
aspect,
Matt, we can
Matt, we
talk
can talk
about.
about.
Remember how we
Remember
would
how we would
always come
always
in on
come in on
Sundays,
Sundays,
and we would
Yeah.
and we
always
would
talk about
always
our
talk about our
weekends.
weekends.
We would come in on Sundays, and for anybody who doesn't know the routine at KSB, so usually we would go home on Fridays, see our families like that evening, and then
Hmm.
Saturday, and then we'd wake up on Sunday and make a trip back. and that was our time with our family, unless it was a holiday or
Right. If
Right.
it was
If
a
it was a
holiday or
holiday
something,
or
it would be
something, it would be
extended. But
summer
extended.
usually,
vacation, Christmas, something like that. So KSB for a lot of us literally was our family. That's where we were raised. Um,
hmm
so I guess that's why we're still talking to this day. A lot of us are just still, we formed those
oh yeah,
bonds, and
Oh yeah.
we still have them to this day.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I
Because
mean,
I mean,
when you go
when
through
you go
something
through
like
something like
that, and
that, and
you
you
are
are
in a
in a
situation where
situation where
you're away
you're
from
away from
home,
home
and you're
and
in
you're
that
in that
situation where you're
situation
like
where you're like
family,
family,
yeah, you're gonna
yeah, you're
have
gonna
those
have those
bonds, and you're
bonds, and
gonna
you're gonna
have
have
stuff like
stuff
that
like
because
that
you're
because
in a
you're
position where
in a
you have
position
really
where you
no
have really
choice.
no choice.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Well,
so
So
as a kid, I don't think that we felt like we had much of a choice, and then
right,
right,
uh, we kind of did. Um, as we got older, we gotta make more choices about
right. As
life
to where we
and
right.
wanted
It's
to
where we
go and
wanted to
everything.
go and
yeah.
everything.
But for those of you who don't know the routine, we would arrive, unpack all of our
hmm
belongings.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
We had lockers that we would put our outfits and stuff in. We had own desks. So
hmm
rooms we had, and I try to tell people about this all the time, and uh, I guess to an average, ordinary public school person, it's kind of hard to believe, but yeah, you
right.
would be usually paired up with a roommate or two roommates, depending,
Yes.
and you would unpack everything, and depending on what you had, so like I remember I think it was my seventh and eighth grade year, I finally got a TV, PlayStation, so I got all of that in my room, but I had to work my way up to that. That wasn't just there, so yeah, you would talk
Right.
to your friends about your weekend and your family and all of that, and then you would usually go to the cafeteria, eat, and then get ready for school. That's how it was
hmm
for us.
Now you were
Now
talking
you were
about
talking about
having your
having your
PlayStation
PlayStation
and TV
and
in your
TV in your
room
room
at
Yeah,
at KSB.
KSB. Now
yeah.
me,
Now
I
me,
never, I took that
I took that
a little differently. I
a
took
little
a different
differently. I took
approach.
a different approach.
I
Okay.
never
I
brought my
never
video game
brought my
system to
video game
school
system to school
at all.
at all.
I wanted to
I
focus on
wanted
my
to focus on my
education.
education.
And plus,
And
if someone
plus, if
decided to
someone
be a
decided to be
jerk
a jerk
and wanted to
and
take
wanted to
it,
take it,
I don't think they wanted
I
my
don't think they
family
wanted my
coming up
family
and
coming up and
raising
Right, right.
raising
Cain on
Cain
that.
on that.
My mother was
My
real,
mother was real,
good at that.
good at that.
Anyway,
Anyway,
so
so
okay,
okay,
so yeah,
so
we would
yeah, we would
go
go
and
and
come
come
back to
back
school
to
on
school on
Sundays,
Sundays,
unpack,
unpack,
and then
and then
we might
we
have a
might
little bit
have
of
a little bit of
downtime
downtime
depending
depending
on
on
what time you
what
got
time you
in.
got in.
But if you
But
got
if
in
you got in
late,
late,
or not late,
or
but
not late, but
closer to supper,
closer to supper,
you had to come
you
in,
had to
sit down
come
your
in and
stuff,
sit
and go
down
to
your
the
stuff and go to
cafeteria
the
and eat.
cafeteria and eat.
Yeah, I know I usually got in at about 4:30 every day, or like, well,
Yeah.
every day, every
Yeah.
Sunday. So I got there at about
hmm
4:30. I had about an hour, maybe half an hour, and then
Yeah,
we took
I got
over.
there
Yeah, I
around
got
like
there around
4,
4,
Okay,
and I
and I
had time to
had time to
unpack and
unpack and
listen to some
listen to some
music,
music,
and
and
then it was
then it
off to
was off to
supper and on
supper and
chow
on
time.
chow time.
same,
So,
So,
same.
do you remember?
do you
Okay,
remember?
the
Okay,
first day of
the first
school,
day of school,
you come back
you
from
know, you come
summer,
back from summer,
you're
you know,
eating the
you're eating
food.
the food.
What was
What
one
was one
first
first
time
time
back
back
meal
meal
that you
that
remember
you
the
remember the
most
most
when
when
conversing with all your
conversing with
friends
all your
about your
friends about your
schedules?
schedules?
I don't ever really remember like a specific first time meal. I really
hmm
don't. But I will tell you the one thing I really liked there was the potato bar that they had,
Oh yes,
Oh yes.
where you could just put anything you wanted on a baked potato and just go to town.
yeah, buddy.
Uh,
Buddy.
that was the stuff. That was my jam.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
And I loved that when I had that. The salad bar was awesome when I eventually got
yes.
to have
Yes.
that. So stuff like that I liked, but it was just the atmosphere of every student coming back, sitting with each other, kind of like brothers and sisters who haven't seen each other for a few months, and you would just sit down and just
Talk
talk like
about
you
your
About
never
your
summer
left.
and talk
summer and
about your
talk about your
classes.
classes,
And
and
Yeah, yeah.
I
It was one of
remember
I
one
remember
time
one
very
time very
vividly
vividly
we had
We
hamburgers for
had
the first
hamburgers
meal
for the
back.
first meal back.
Yeah, I don't know how you remember that.
And well, I
And
remember it
well, I remember it
because
because
I took the
I
bun
took
off. I
the
was
bun
gonna
off. I
put
was gonna put
mayonnaise
mayonnaise
on the burger. I
on the
put like
burger.
two
I
or
put
three
like two
packs
or
of
three
mayo
packs
on
of mayo
there.
on there.
And they're like, "My
Okay, you're a
God,
big fan of
how can
mayonnaise.
you
How can you
stand all that?"
Big fan
stand
of
all
mayonnaise.
that?
I
I'm like,
respect it.
I'm
"Well,
like, well,
I like
I
it,
like
you
it,
know."
you know.
And so
Okay.
I
And so
ate
I
my
ate
burger
my
and
burger and
fries,
fries,
and we were all
and we were
talking
all
about our
talking about our
schedules.
schedules.
And we all
And
had a
we all had a
teacher
teacher
named Miss
named
Creasy,
Miss Creasy.
and she was
Yes,
a
And she
great,
was a
she was a
great, she
very
was a
good
very good
teacher,
teacher.
I loved
but
her.
But
She was
God was she
God was she
strict.
strict.
she was one of my favorites. And I heard a lot of people say that about her. Like
Hmm
she was real strict, but she ended up being one of my favorites. So I
Well, she was
Well, she
strict,
was
but she
strict,
was
but
strict
she
for a
was
reason.
strict for a reason.
she was strict in a way that she had to be strict with her
Right.
students.
Right.
And like she was just a very fun, imaginative, creative teacher.
Oh yeah,
Oh
very
yeah, very
fun, very
fun,
good
She
at what
very
she
gave
good at what she
did.
did.
dances. She was a good woman. I loved her.
Oh
I
yes,
Oh
she was
yes.
awesome.
and she was
And
very
she
no
was very no
nonsense too.
nonsense too.
Yeah.
So if
So
anyone
if
fell out
anyone
of
fell out of
line,
line,
like Matt, do
like
you remember
Matt, do you
Robert
remember
Schindler?
Robert Schindler?
I don't know. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
Okay.
Because were
I've
you
got a
you? I
I've
story.
got a
think you
story.
were a few grades ahead of me. I don't know what class he was in.
I'm not
I'm
sure,
not
but I
sure,
know
but
he would
I know he would
always
always
say his
say
head was
his head
hurting
was
when it
hurting
came
when it
time for
came
Miss
time for Miss
Creasy's
Creasy's
class,
class.
Right.
and
And
she would
she
always
would
refer
always
him to the
refer him to the
nurse.
nurse.
Okay,
Okay,
Robert, go to the
Robert, go
nurse.
to the
It's
nurse.
fine.
It's fine.
And she
And she
eventually caught
eventually
on,
caught on.
and he got
And he got
so mad
so mad
when she finally caught
when she
on to his
finally
little
caught on to his little
charades.
charades.
Well, there was a
Well,
trip we
there
were
was a trip
taking
we
to
were
the Thomas
taking to the
Edison
Thomas Edison
house.
house.
He was
He
allowed to
was
go
allowed
on
to go on
that,
that,
but there was a
but there was a
bonus field
bonus
trip to
field
that
trip to
too.
that too.
Remember the
Remember the
1996
1996
Olympics?
Olympics?
Yes, I
These
loved it.
Olympic torch was
Olympic torch
being
was
passed
being
through Louisville,
passed through Louisville,
and we got to see it
and
be
we got to see
ran.
it be ran.
Although Robert had to
Although
sit on the
Robert had to
bus
sit on the
because of what he
bus
did.
because of what he did.
Yeah, but I mean,
So,
I love that. That was pretty cool to see.
oh, I know.
Oh, I know.
But, it's all
But
about that
it's all
family
about that
dynamic.
family dynamic.
That was an
That was an
experience we
experience
wouldn't
we
have got
wouldn't
if we
have
wouldn't
got
have
if we
been
wouldn't have
KSB
been
kids.
KSB kids.
Well, not only that, but you went everywhere with everybody. Like you went
Yes.
everywhere
Yes.
with your teachers. You went everywhere with your dorm parents.
Dorm
Dorm
parents
parents.
and,
Like they were your family. You literally got to
yes.
talk to
Yes.
them and hang out with them like they were your family. So you've got that dynamic. And the
Oh, yeah.
people that
Oh,
were
yeah.
there, I can say 98, 99% of people that were at that school who were employed, they loved their jobs. They
Oh,
loved
yes.
Oh, yes.
they loved hanging out with the kids. Um, they loved kind of looking over there and just checking out on their well-being and just,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
just a really good experience.
I want to give a
Want to
quick
give a
shout
quick
out to
shout out to
Rick
Rick
Moore.
Moore.
He was
He was
awesome.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
referred to
He
himself as the
referred to
god of
himself as the god of
intelligence.
intelligence.
And I believe it
Yeah.
was
I
either the
believe it was either the
1998
1998,
99
99
yearbook,
yearbook,
video yearbook, or the
yearbook, or the
99
99
2000 yearbook.
2000
One of
yearbook.
those
One of those
yearbooks.
yearbooks.
One of the early video
Early video
yearbooks.
I remember him. I remember him as a brief dorm parent, but I mean, I
Yes.
also
Yes.
remember him as a track coach, which is what
He
you
was
kinda-
track coach,
Track
study
coach,
hall
study hall
person,
person,
dorm
Um,
parent.
dorm parent.
He did it
was a
all.
lot
He
of
did it all.
everything, but I will say there was this one memory. There's a few memories I have about him.
Oh, yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
first is, do you remember those little derby cards that we would put on a track and we
The
would-
Pinewood Derby.
The Pinewood Derby.
You
Yes.
remember that?
Yes.
So we would race those every year, and I remember they would send us home. I think
The
with
kids.
a kit,
Yes.
and
Yes.
Yes.
our parents would help us, kind of
hmm
build those. Well, either I got sent home with the kit and didn't, I guess, get help that weekend, or I just didn't get a kit. Either one, I forgot. But it came back. It was time for the race, and dude just built me one from scratch. And
He hooked you up.
Yeah.
I mean, built it, painted it. I mean, dude was awesome. So, thank you, Rick.
Hey,
for that.
kudos
That
to
was-
Rick.
Kudos
That
to
was
Rick.
really cool. And I'll tell you another memory about him is this was, I think, summer that we were in summer school.
hmm
I went to a few of the enrichment programs, and we were in the Evans Hall Computer Lab,
Yes.
Yes.
and we were all playing Half Life.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We were on, I think, 6 to 8 computers, all like, around the room, all of us simultaneously just playing the Half Life online thing. It was the
Oh
coolest
yeah.
thing. I loved it. Had a blast. I couldn't see what I was doing, but I loved
You
it
enjoyed it.
anyway. Just kind of playing with everybody. But that was a cool little memory.
One of
Yeah.
my
One of
memories
my
of
memories
Rick,
of Rick.
he was a
He
house
was a
parent. He
house
was
parent. He
subbing
was
from his
subbing from his
oaks.
oaks.
It was
It
around
was around
Halloween
Halloween
time,
time.
so
So
had a book
had
of
a
ghost
book of ghost
stories,
stories.
and he
Yeah.
read
And
us
he read
three
us
ghost
3 ghost
stories.
stories.
And there was
And
one
there was
about
one about
this guy. I think his
this
name was
guy. I think his
Jack,
name was Jack.
and he had to encounter
And he
these
had
three
to encounter these
bulls.
3 bulls.
And he
And
described it
he
very well. He
described
was
it
very,
very
very
well. He was very,
descriptive.
very descriptive.
He was good at
He
painting
was
mental
good at painting
pictures,
mental pictures.
and he was
And
he's
he
a
was
very good
he's a
artist.
very good artist.
You know.
You
Now,
know.
one other
Now,
memory I
one other
have
memory I have
about him
about
telling it
him
like it
telling it
is.
like it is.
If you
Yeah,
asked him
he's
for
very
advice,
upfront.
Advice.
You
you
could
had to
very
be
you
prepared
could
for the
Had to be
truth.
prepared
appreciate
for the
that.
truth.
Yeah, I mean, he was very upfront. I kind of appreciated that about him because
Yes.
a lot of people just aren't that way.
Oh yeah, I
Oh
would
yeah, I would
rather
rather
I
have had
appreciate an
him.
honest man, rather than a snake. So I appreciate
Yep.
that.
Yep.
I mean,
I mean,
and I remember
and I
several times
remember
he would say,
several times he would
"Okay,
say, "Okay,
I know you don't like to
I
hear
know you
this,
don't
but
like to
it's
hear
for
this,
your own
but
good."
it's for your own good."
And he was right.
And he was right.
So thank
So
you to
thank
Rick
you to
Moore if
Rick
you're
Moore if
watching
you're
this or
watching this or
listening.
listening.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for all the
for all
years
the
of
years
being
of
an
being an
awesome
awesome
study hall
study hall
person,
person,
an
Seriously,
and an
thank you.
awesome
awesome
house
house
parent,
parent,
an awesome
an
friend,
awesome
and an
friend,
all
and an
around good
all-around
human
good
being.
human being.
That's right. Yeah, you said it.
And
And
also,
also,
another memory I
another
have
memory I have
of
of
KSB, the family
KSB, the
dynamic,
family dynamic,
in the winter.
in the winter.
Remember when we would get
Remember when
snowed
we would
in?
get snowed in?
Yeah, and we were stranded, couldn't go home.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
We were all just kind of stuck there together on the weekends. They made the best of it. It was
It was a
the
It was a
blast.
blast.
it was the nicest thing. We all played the snow together.
Oh,
We had
yeah.
our
Oh yeah.
snow fights. We
Back when
after
they
we
could
were
have
Back when
done,
they
snow
could have
fights on
snow fights on
campus.
campus.
yeah, we did a lot of stuff. And then after we were done, we went to the cafeteria, had a nice warm meal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Got done with that and just went to the dorms and chilled out, listened to some music.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
Oh yeah.
whatever. It was nice.
Now, Miss
Um,
Pat
Now, Miss
Sanders,
Pat
I
Sanders,
do have kind of
I
a
do have
story
kind of
from
a story
everyone.
from everyone.
It was, I
It
believe,
was, I believe,
98,
98.
the Blizzard of
The
98.
Blues
Remember
of
that?
98. Remember that?
I do, yeah.
I got moved
I
down into
got
Miss
moved
Pat's
down into
dorm
Miss Pat's dorm
for the weekend.
for the weekend.
I had to
Okay.
I
follow
had to
her
follow her
rules,
rules,
her
her
routine.
routine.
Oh,
Oh
man, it was
man,
like
it was
going
like
back in
going back
time.
in time.
Yeah.
Because
You were
when she
ready
wanted
for
it
it.
quiet, you had to
You
do what
had
she
to do what
said.
she said.
You were ready for it that time. You
Yep, I
already
was
knew
ready.
it was
I
coming.
knew what
I
was
knew what
up.
was up.
You knew it was
But
coming.
But
Joe Godsey
Joe
wanted to be
Godsey wanted
defiant and
to
go
be
to the radio
defiant and go to
station
the radio station
and go on the air.
and
He
go
was
on the air.
trained,
He was trained,
and she wouldn't let him.
and she wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
R.I.P.
yeah,
to Miss Pat
R.I.P. to Miss
Sanders. She
Pat
was a
Sanders.
good
She
house
was a good
parent.
house parent.
Again,
Again,
very
very
upfront
upfront.
when she
Yeah,
needed to be.
but I mean, she was good to her, the boys that were there.
Yes, she
Yes,
prepared
she
us for the
prepared us
real
for the
world
real
very
world
well.
very well.
There was some good life lessons there, especially with cleanliness. I think especially
Oh, yeah.
with
Oh, yeah.
cleanliness. I think we did a few. I think those are the times where we started cooking and learning how to prepare food. There was
Yes, and do
Yes,
laundry and do
laundry
chores and
so all that really came with her. She was like I mean, where Mrs. Elizabeth Oaks was like the kind of the true mother hen. She was like the more orderly version of it,
right.
right.
and it was good. I mean, it was like all the life lessons kind of came
Came
from
to
her.
be, and then they expanded with the late great
the late
Brenda
great Brenda
Begley.
Begley.
Rest in peace to
Rest in peace to
her.
her.
They expanded with her. I feel like she was a lot more laid back, and she allowed you.
Oh,
to,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
She allowed you to kind of make a little bit more of your own decisions and be more. She was getting you ready to be an independent living. For
Right.
those of you
Right.
who don't know what independent living is, it's just a dorm where was it? I was never in independent. I never had the pleasure, so I'll let you explain.
All right,
How
independent
it is.
dorm. Basically,
Basically,
you have
you
moved up
have
through all
moved
the
up through
dorms.
all the dorms.
So you
So
started in
you
the
started in the
little
little
younger boys'
younger
dorm.
boys' dorm.
Then you moved
Then
up
you
to
moved
Miss
up to
Pat
Miss Pat
Sanders,
Sanders,
which is where
Elementary.
you
which is where
started
you started
getting
getting
chores and
chores and
whatnot.
whatnot.
Hmm.
Then you moved
Then you
on
moved
to
on to
Brenda's,
Brenda's,
which
Middle
was for
school.
which was for
middle school, high
middle
school.
school, high school.
Hmm.
Not
Not
under high school, but
under
maybe your
high school, but
freshman
maybe
year.
your freshman year.
Yeah, yeah.
So then your
So then
sophomore
your
year, you
sophomore
move
year,
up
you move up
to
to
what's called
what's
pre-independent,
called pre-independent,
which was Mrs.
which
Janice
was Mrs.
Jones's,
Janice Jones's.
and before that,
And
Robert
before that,
Mitchell's.
Robert Mitchell's.
Oh, I wish I had him as a
I wish I
dad.
could have
I
had
wish I
Robert
could
as
have had
house
Robert as
parent.
house
I
Oh,
parent.
dude,
know
I
I wish
know.
I could have had that guy. That would have been cool.
that would have been
That
nice.
would have been nice.
Yeah.
But with
But with
pre-independent, you were
pre-independent, you were
expected to pretty
expected to
much
pretty
do
much
your own
do your own
thing,
thing,
make your own
make your own
decisions.
decisions.
To an
To
extent,
an
now you
extent
had
that
the
you
house
had the
parent
house
there
parent
to say,
there
"Hey,
to
I'm
say, hey,
going
I'm
to do
going to
such
do
and
such and
such."
such.
But when you
But
got
when
into
you got into
independent, you
independent,
had
you had
to
to
be
be
responsible for your
responsible for your
homework,
homework,
for your
for
cooking, your
your cooking, your
cleaning,
cleaning,
and all that.
and all that.
And you
And
would get graded on
you
how
would
your
get graded in
dorm
how your dorm
or how clean your dorm
or how
was.
clean your dorm was.
If you
If
failed,
you
I think it was
failed,
like
I think
three
it was like three
times,
times,
you got
you
put
got
back in
put back
pre-independent.
in pre-independent.
Yeah.
Or Miss
Or
Weston, who was
Miss
a great
Weston, who
teacher,
was a great teacher,
could put you in the dorm.
put you in the dorm.
So she
She
technically was your
technically
dorm
was your
parent,
dorm parent,
but
but
it was up
it
to
was
you to
up to
make
you
your
to
own
make your own
decisions
decisions
where you
where you
went.
went.
So, like for
So, like
example,
for
if you went
example,
on
if you went on
campus,
campus,
you could come and go
you
as you
come and go as you
pleased.
pleased.
Now, if you went off
Now, if you
campus,
went
you had
off
to go to
campus, you
Mr.
had to
Ricks
go
or
to
Mr.
Mr. Ricks or
Oaks
Mr. Oaks
and sign out
and
and in.
sign out and in.
And this was another cool aspect about the school. And this will be another kind of tidbit thing is where you had mobility classes. I think you
Yes.
started really. I think that you just started in kindergarten, first grade, somewhere
Yeah,
around
when you
there.
Yeah,
first
when you
got
first
there, I
got there, I
remember you
remember you
actually
actually
started
started
with just
with just
basic,
basic,
going over
going
across
over
the
across the
street.
street.
I
Yeah, these
I
were
remember,
just
remember,
basic lessons you
right.
would
right.
learn on school campus,
Mm,
getting capable with the cane, knowing where things are, and all of that really started at the school. So you would just
hmm
they would teach you on the school grounds, and then gradually they would take you off campus
Off the
to
school
Off the
grounds,
school
and it would
grounds, and
progress
it
as you
would
got
progress as you
older
got
and
older and
gain more skills.
gain more skills.
yeah.
So I do
So
have a
I do
funny
have a funny
story
story
regarding Miss
regarding
Farrell,
Miss Farrell.
and we're talking
And we're
about
talking
family
about family
dynamic tonight.
dynamic tonight.
We would all
We would
go to
all go to
Busman's
Busman's
Bakery,
Bakery,
which I don't
which
think
I
is
don't
there
think is there
anymore.
anymore.
I remember that, and I love that bakery.
Busman's
Busman's
Bakery was the
Bakery was the
bomb.
bomb.
Yeah, it was. It
So
got
for those
those
of
For
you who
those of you who
remember
those
it,
Long
remember it,
John and Krispy Kremes were just amazing.
oh God,
oh
Chef's
God,
kiss.
yes.
yes.
Chef's kiss.
Now when I was
Now, when I was
little, I
little,
had
I had
this liking for
this
spice
liking for
cookies.
spice cookies.
And Miss Farrell,
And
if you're
Miss
listening to
Farrell, if you're
this,
listening to this,
I remember
I
you
remember
always
you
buy
always
me
buy me
2 spice
two
cookies,
spice cookies.
and I loved
And
them,
I
and I was
loved them,
grateful
and I was
for them,
grateful for them.
and I had a
And
good
I had a
time,
good time,
enjoying them, and
enjoying
just
them and just,
thinking of
thinking of,
the good times.
the good
And
times.
Matt, do
And
you remember at
Matt, do you
breakfast
remember at
time
breakfast time
when they would give us
when they would give
Nutri-Grain
us
bars?
Nutri-Grain bars?
I think at breakfast time we could really select what we wanted because I think every
hmm
morning cereal was a given,
hmm
Nutri-Grain bars were a given. I think Puff Puffs were a given.
Oh yeah.
And then there was whatever they were serving for breakfast. So you got whatever they were serving. So you kind of had a few options to choose from there. And you gotta kind of eat breakfast how you wanted. But yeah, I do remember the Nutri-Grain bars. Yeah.
Well, I do
Well, I
kind of
do
have a
kind of have a
story to
story to
share,
share,
and you can
and you can
share any stories you
share
might
any
have.
stories you might have.
But recently, at
But
me,
recently,
my
in me,
hometown,
my hometown,
I picked up some
I picked up
Nutri-Grain
some
bars,
Nutri-Grain bars,
and they
and they
changed the
changed the
packaging.
packaging.
Yeah.
Remember how like the
Remember how
blueberries
like the
had that
blueberries
dark
had
blue
that dark
package,
blue package,
and all the
and all
packages
the
were
packages
metallic?
were metallic?
I do. Yeah.
They changed
They
that,
changed that,
but the taste is the
but the
exact same.
taste is the exact same.
Well, hold on for 1 second. I have something to show you. Give me like literally a second, and I will let you
All right.
just take the podcast because I have something to show you.
All right,
All
Matt
right,
has something
Matt
to
has
show
something to show
everybody.
everybody.
Probably a
Probably a
KSB
KSB
blast from the
blast from the
past.
past.
I do have
I
a
do have
story
a
I would
story
like
I
to
would like to
share
share
about
about
a
a
wrestling trip
wrestling
I
trip
had,
I had,
and I believe
and I
Matt
believe
might have been
Matt
on
might have
this
been on
trip,
this trip,
but it ties into
but
our
it ties
family
into our
dynamic.
family dynamic.
And we were
And
in
we
Miss
were
Pat's
in
dorm,
Miss Pat's dorm,
and we were going
So,
to
and we
Indiana
were going
School
to
for the
Indiana
Blind.
School for the Blind.
And she
And
prepped
she
us like
prepped
we
us
were
like
in
we
the
were in
army,
the
and we had to
army, and
be
we
all
had
we
to be
could
all
be.
we could be.
All right,
yeah.
Matt, what's
All
this
right,
So,
mystery
Matt, what's
thing?
this mystery thing?
so this mystery thing is a
Oh
Nutrigrain
no!
bar.
Oh
It's a
Oh
Nutrigrain
wow!
no! Oh
bar.
wow!
It runs in the. I'm telling you, it runs in the gene pool of KSB. So we just know what's up.
Yep.
Uh, we just kind of all get. I can guarantee you there are probably I don't know 10 people or more who maybe unadmittedly have Nutrigrain just stocked in their pantry. So
Oh yeah,
if
I
you're
Oh
if
just
you're
yeah,
got
one
them.
I
out
I was
just
like,
got
there,
him.
I'm
I was
gonna
like,
get some of
I'm
these
gonna
from the
get some
blast
of
from the
these from the
past.
bus
give us
from the
give
past.
us a thumbs up because we know you have some Nutrigrain hidden
Yeah, buddy.
somewhere
Yeah, buddy.
because all those years.
Yep. And
Yep. And
remember,
remember,
back in the
back in the
day
day
when
when
they would have
they would have
Canadian
Canadian
bacon.
bacon?
I do. I remember ham. That was
Hmm
not. It was
That
not
was not
That was
Canadian
bacon.
not
bacon. That
Canadian
was
bacon.
It
ham.
was
That was
just.
ham.
It was just ham. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not calling
Yeah.
that Canadian bacon. That's not
No,
what.
that was ham.
No.
No, that was ham.
Yeah.
No, that I call
No, that
BS
I
on
call
that.
BS on that.
It was called a circle of ham. That's what it
Yes.
was.
Yes.
Yeah. Bacon is bacon. I know what. I
Yep.
know what bacon
Yep.
is.
Yeah, buddy. We know
Yeah,
our
buddy, we
bacon.
know our bacon.
So,
Listen, you put
you know,
pineapple
You
on
know,
top of a ham. You don't put pineapple on a bacon on a piece of
no,
bacon.
you
no,
do
you
not.
do not.
So,
So,
but yeah,
but
the
yeah,
family
the family
dynamic was
dynamic
more
was
than just
more
the
than just a
dorm.
dorm.
You know, I
I
remember,
remember,
like at
like at
school,
school,
I
I
remember
remember
meeting
meeting
Mr. Ennis
Mr.
for the
Ennis
first
for the
time when
first
I was
time when I was
5. He was the
5. He
rec
was the rec
director,
director,
and we had a
and we
second
had a
master
second
system.
master system.
A
And I
lot of
think
good
what
life
And I
helped
think what
lessons
me
with
helped
that
me
guy. A
get
lot of good life
over
get
lessons.
over
my
my
homesickness was,
homesickness was,
oh, the rec has
oh, the
video
rec has
games.
video games.
You know,
You
I can
know,
play
I can
these
play these
here, granted
here,
at their
granted at
discretion.
their discretion.
It wasn't all the
It
time,
wasn't all the time,
but when we did
but
get
when we
it,
did
it
get it,
was a
it
taste of
was
home.
a taste of home.
But yeah, a
But
lot of
yeah,
life
a lot of
lessons
life
from
lessons
him.
from him.
And he
And
later
he
on
later
became
on
the
became
the gym
the
teacher,
gym
so
teacher, so
very good
very good
there.
there.
And
And he
And
always, as I recall, he very much followed the Chinese kind of meditative
yes, not
yes,
so,
philosophy.
not the Sun
not
Tzu
the
book.
Sun Tzu book.
No, he was very kind of like if a martial arts teacher was kind of teaching you like the balance of the
That would
mind
be Mr.
That would be
Ennis.
Mr.
and
Ennis.
getting yourself right. That was him. He was always really good about that.
Oh
Kind of
yeah,
Oh yeah.
teaching you about things, mental health.
Balanced
Balanced
Mr.
Mr.
Coddington added
Coddington
to
added
that.
to that.
Yeah,
R.I.P. to
yeah,
Mr.
R.I.P.
and
to
Coddington.
Mr.
I
Coddington.
wish I would have had him for was it judo or something like that that
Kung
they used
Fu,
to teach?
Kung Fu.
Kung fu, yeah, they taught.
seafood
They,
end.
Seafood end.
yeah, I wish I would have been in those classes because
I wish I would.
I wish I would.
I wish I would have
I
too,
wish I would have too.
because I could
Because
have
I could
expanded
have
that with
expanded
my
that with my
wrestling
wrestling
that I had
that
back
I
in the
yeah,
had
day.
back in the day.
yeah, that would have been nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh
but I
yeah,
didn't
but
take
I didn't take
advantage.
advantage.
But I should
But I
have. But
should have. But
anyway,
anyway,
shoulda, woulda,
shoulda,
coulda.
woulda,
But
coulda. But
you know, Mr.
Mr.
Coddington always
Coddington
talked
always
about
talked about
get your
get
balance
your balance
right, get your
right, get
chi
your chi
right,
right,
do
do
everything you have to
everything
do
you have
for
to do for
self,
self,
and
and
everything will fall
everything
into
will fall into
place.
place.
And he was
Yeah.
And he
another
was
one that
another
if
one that
you
if you
really needed
really
to
needed
talk
to
to
talk to
someone, you
someone, you
could.
could.
But
But
again,
again,
prepare for the truth,
prepare for the truth.
Yeah, he was very good
because
about that.
Because
He was very good. Just I can say that
straightforward individual.
straightforward individual.
he was very patient, as well as straightforward.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
oh
And
yeah.
very
Oh yeah.
understanding.
hmm
But yeah, I remember him, and I think he was a music teacher at one point. Um, so I got
Me
to have
Me
too.
him.
too.
I got to have him for that for a while there. But yeah, we
Yep.
took field trips in
Oh
the
yeah.
Oh
daytime
yeah.
at school, and they took us everywhere. And then during the evenings, we would would go on field trips every once in a while and kind of go with our rec teachers or whoever was present there at the time.
Right.
And
Right.
we would go off campus either to like a local place. Remember going one time to Jenny's Diner and getting the biggest burger they had there, which was the I
Hmm.
forget, it was huge. I don't know if you remember it, but there was a contest they had where you
The
would
Sweet
like,
Daddy
Sweet Daddy
Platter.
platter.
yeah, I'm glad you remember that. Okay. And yeah, if you ate all of it, you got a T-shirt or something like that. So,
Yeah. Hey, I hate
Hey,
to break
I
topic,
hate to
but your
break topic,
camera's
but your
off.
camera's off.
oh,
Yeah,
oh,
you
oh
might
boy,
want to
Wanna
what is
look
wrong
at
with my
that.
thing? There we go.
There we go.
There we
There we
go.
go. So, yeah,
So
I
yeah,
remember
I remember
that very, very
that very
well.
well.
Although I never
Although I never
partook.
partook,
I
I
remember Jenny's
remember
Diner
Jenny's
for
Diner for
the
the
fried
fried
pickle.
pickle.
Frickle
Oh
pickles.
yeah, yeah, those are so good.
So,
So
yeah, as
yeah,
far
as
as
far as
KSB
KSB
family
family
life,
life,
you know,
you know,
dormitory would
dormitory
be
would
you
be
would get
you
up
would
at
get up
6
at 6
o'clock,
o'clock,
you make your
you make
bed,
your
get
bed, get
dressed, get ready for
dressed, get ready
breakfast,
for
go eat,
breakfast,
come
go
back,
eat, come back,
get ready
Yeah,
for
and
school and
get
head
ready for
out.
school and head out.
and I want to say something about this too, because we're talking about the mornings there, and a lot of it really was kind of preparing you for later on in life, where a lot of those habits that you spent years kind of building up
Hmm.
followed you into adult life. Uh,
Oh,
and
yeah,
Oh
getting
yeah,
ready
getting
for
ready
work
for
and,
work
and all of that really made a big imprint. So
oh,
the
yeah.
way they were
oh yeah,
doing it, their system about the way they were doing their system with the students. I hope y'all don't stop doing that because it's a really good system to follow.
Yes, it
Um,
is.
yes it is.
for preparing the younger generation and kind of structuring their life. So I think that's just the
Hmm.
best way to do it.
All right, now
All
we're
right,
going
now we're
on
going
to
on to
graduation.
graduation.
I
I
remember
remember
watching
watching
several
several
graduation
graduation
ceremonies at
ceremonies at
KSB.
KSB.
They were all
They were
great.
all great.
Do you have any
Do you have
particular
any particular
favorites that you
favorites that
remembered,
you
Matt?
remembered, Matt?
I think it was the year before mine, or the year before I left. I remember watching a graduation thing that they did, and this was out at the courtyard. I guess behind
Hmm.
the music building because it was
The
very nice
cupola.
The
weather.
cupola.
Yeah, yeah. So they had it there, and I got to watch it, and it was nice. I enjoyed it.
I remember my
I
favorite
remember my
was
favorite was
the class of
the class
'98.
of
I think
'98.
they
I think
had
they
that
had
one
that one
outside, or one of
outside,
them
or one of them
outside,
outside,
and they played Pomp
and
and
they played Pomp
Circumstance
and
on the electric
Circumstance on the
guitar.
electric guitar.
They metal
Yeah, that was
it.
They
pretty.
metal.
That was pretty cool.
And then
And then
the great
the
Deanna
great Deanna
Scoggins would
Scoggins would
play
play
graduations for
graduations
30
for 30
years. Very
years.
good
Very good
job.
job.
I
I
remember, although I
remember,
didn't
although I
graduate
didn't
there
graduate there
myself,
myself,
I
I
remember just
remember just
a lot
a
of great
lot of great
memories.
memories.
And I
And I
remember
remember
always after
always
the
after the
ceremony,
ceremony,
we would all go over to
we
the
would all
food
go over to
service
the food
building
service building
and say goodbye to the
and say goodbye
graduates.
to the graduates.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that
And
that
then
would be kind
that
of
would
like
be
our
kind of
last
like
night in
our
the
last
dorm
night in the
for
dorm
us.
for us.
And it was like saying goodbye to like your older brothers and sisters, your older siblings, and
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
seeing them kind of move out and having their own lives, or basically starting their own lives. Because let's face it, that's actually when you start your lives and start being an adult, and I guess all of that really prepared you for it, and I guess that's how that happened. I can't. My phone's being weird. Anyway.
Yes, and
Yes, and
I remember
I
that very
remember that very
well as
well
far
as
as being
far as
prepared.
being prepared.
Now, as
Now,
for
as for
graduation
graduation
ceremonies,
ceremonies,
the one that stood
the
out to
one
me
that
the
stood out to
most
me the
was
most
the
was the
class of
class of
2000.
2000.
The great
The
Jason
great Jason
Pryor
Pryor
was a part of
was
that
a part of that
class,
class,
and a
and
bunch
a
of
bunch of
others. And I
others. And I
remember
remember
advice he gave
advice
me
he gave me
was no
was
matter
no matter
how life
how life
goes
goes
or whatever
or
is thrown
whatever is
your
thrown your
way,
way,
don't
don't
give up
give
and
up
don't
and
sell yourself
don't
short.
sell yourself short.
Yeah.
and I'll
Yeah,
never forget that. And I got to meet his
Really good.
family, and
and
then after that was over, all of us would all go to the old room and get our stuff packed or finish packing. Because remember, that week you would be put in the dorm until you got everything packed.
Oh yeah, and well, you made sure not to leave anything because if you left
Mm-mm.
something, it was
It
gone,
was not.
or
Yeah.
that, or you had to wait for a few months to go back and get it. So usually you pretty much remembered everything before you left because
Yeah, you checked that room very thoroughly and made sure everything was
yeah,
packed.
um,
I remember my
I
mother was adamant. She
I
goes,
remember.
make sure everything is packed.
I don't know if it
You
was
know.
just me. I don't know if it was just me. Maybe it was you too. But I remember always coming home on that last day with
Oh
just an
yeah.
absolute boatload of stuff. Just
Yes, I know, right?
I had
2 suitcases
everything.
full. Oh,
I
good
mean, I
God.
had the kitchen sink. I had everything. I mean, I got to just have
Mhm.
everything. I don't know how I got it off of and see, I switched buses 3 times, like 3 separate times. So I
Right.
all that stuff off one bus onto another, and then onto another. So that was
Mhm.
something. If you were traveling all the way from there to here,
Now
um,
with me, it was a straight shot from my home to the school, so
that's so good.
that wasn't bad. But now what I really dreaded was that last day because you had to make sure everything was packed. Your bank account was cleared, and yes, we had bank accounts.
We did, and for those of you who don't know, what KSB did, I think they started it
Student bank.
near your middle school year. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it was before
No, I
then.
think it was right when you came. You got a student bank. Student bank
Really,
account.
I never really had one. I don't think until I started the work program, and then I applied for a student bank. Um, Maybe I had one and didn't know it, but I
The
didn't
great
really
Doris
pay.
Sutton.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then there was another woman who actually took over for her when she left. I can't
Mhm.
remember her name, but I do remember her.
But yeah, I
But
remember Miss Sutton and I. We would just talk, and she was raised in my hometown, so
she was
we
very
would
bubbly. I
reminisce.
will say that about her. She was
Oh
very,
yeah, she was awesome.
she was very bubbly.
Another one you could go to if you needed advice, but be
Yeah,
prepared for the truth.
yeah, right.
That's the one thing about all of them. You didn't want to hear the truth, don't go to them.
Oh, they were all very
Straightforward and very direct.
straightforward. They all had their own different approach on how they
Yes,
gave students advice, which is really cool. Like no one was the same.
it was
Um,
all different. It was personalized. And then when you graduated and left, or went home for the summer, for those graduates, they went on with their lives. But for the rest of us, we got some summertime fun to look forward to.
I think that was one thing about graduation. That is probably the one thing I do regret is
Mhm.
not graduating from there. And I wish I
Same
had.
here. I mean, I graduated from public school in my hometown.
I wish I would have stuck around. I had my reasons. I
Same here.
don't really want to bring that up here in this video. I will talk
Right.
about it. I've been wanting to make my own kind of video that's independent, and I'll probably do that next weekend. But I've been so busy these past like
Yeah, I know.
2 months.
So, do you have any favorite KSB summer memories? Like maybe last day of school memories?
I just remember they would always have activities for the students planned.
Yes.
We got to do everything under the sun. They had, I think,
Field
balloons.
days and.
Yeah, they had like the water balloons. I think you
Mhm.
did like the three-legged races.
Mhm.
Um, that was so cool. I remember all of that. I don't really remember what else. I remember one time, I think it was my fifth grade year, and we took these cookies. This was in Mrs.
Mhm.
Barbara Creasy's class.
Yes.
We took these cookies in the solar powered pan, and we placed them. Do you remember those little flower things like surrounded by concrete. We'd sit on them every morning, like
Yeah, I
before we
remember
go to
Yeah, I
those.
math.
remember those.
Yeah, so we took the solar powered pan or whatever that the that would, I guess the sun would
Heat it,
the pan would absorb the heat,
and it would
and
cook
And it
the
would
food.
cook the food.
yeah, and it was the coolest thing. So we did that. Um, we made cookies. I don't know if that was for the derby or just the field day, but I know it was toward the summer. I have that memory.
Right.
Right.
One of my memories
One of my
is,
memories is,
it would be the last
it would be the
day.
last day.
No, with me,
No,
I was a
with
little
me, I
different.
was
I
a
was
little
anxious to
different.
get
I was
home.
anxious to get home.
So my
So
mother
my
and
mother
family
and
would
family
come
would
and get
come
me
and get me
early.
early.
We would
We
go to the
would
dorm,
go to the dorm,
get my stuff,
get my stuff,
and we would head out.
and we would head out.
And then the summer
And then
fun
the summer
began.
fun began.
I
You
mean,
know, I mean,
two and a
two
half,
and a
three
half,
months
three
of just being
months of
home,
just being home,
not having to worry
not
about
having to worry about
anything.
anything.
But then
But then,
when
when
late July, early
late
August
July,
hit,
early August hit,
you
Do
had
you
to get
ever
back into
remember
routine.
going to summer school? Like any of the summer
Yes,
school?
yes.
Okay.
I
I
remember one
remember
time
one
I
time
went.
I
I
went,
was
I was
younger,
younger,
and I think
and
I
I
was
think
working
I was
on
working on
math
math
and
and
other stuff.
other stuff.
Mr.
Mr.
Mills, Marty
Mills, Marty
Mills,
Mills,
Yeah,
introduced me to the
yeah.
introduced me to the
sharp
sharp
talking
talking
calculator.
calculator.
I loved that
I
thing.
loved that thing.
Now I remember one
Now I
time
remember
Mr.
one time
Mills
Mr. Mills
was like, "Tim,
was
where's your
like, Tim,
calculator?"
where's your calculator?
I left it in the
I
dorm.
left
I
it
need
in
to
the
go
dorm. I
get
need
it.
to go get it.
So I
So
had to
I had
walk
to
back there
walk
with
back
Mr.
there with Mr.
Mills,
Mills,
and I was like,
and I was
"Mr.
like,
Mills, am I
Mr.
in deep
Mills, am I in
trouble?"
deep trouble?
He goes, "No, you're
He
in
goes,
shallow
no, you're in
trouble.
shallow
You
trouble.
just got to get that
You just got to
calculator.
get that calculator.
Once you get it,
Once
you'll
you
be
get
out of
it, you'll be
trouble."
out of trouble.
So I went to the
So I
dorm and
went to the
got it,
dorm and
and I
got it,
learned my
and I learned
lesson.
my lesson.
And you know what? I gotta say, I'm gonna throw this out there. If he's watching, sir, I just want you to know, you remind me. You still do remind me so much of Uncle Buck. If y'all have not seen Uncle Buck, please go watch Uncle Buck. But that dude reminded me of Uncle Buck so
Oh
hard.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was like John Candy. He was a little bit like John Candy.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was
He
one
was one
too.
too.
Again, if you
Again, if
wanted
you wanted
advice, you could
advice,
go to
you
him,
could go
but
to
he
him,
was
but he was
very
very
direct.
direct.
And when it
And when
came
it
to,
came to,
remember when
remember when
CD
CD
burners were a
burners
new
were a new
thing?
thing?
I do remember that. Yeah.
And we would
And we
all
would
burn
all burn
CDs,
CDs,
right?
right?
I remember when piracy was a new thing.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
that's
Yeah,
what
that
yeah,
he
was
that's what
was
he was
against. And see, we
against.
didn't
And
know
see,
it.
we didn't
We
know
were
it.
like,
We were
to
like,
heck with
to
this.
heck
We
with
want new
this. We
music.
want
We're
new
going to go
music.
burn
We're
it.
gonna go burn it.
And,
And
you could
you
save
and
your
now
files
music's
on
files
just
on
free.
CDs.
Well, now music's just free, so we don't have to worry about it.
I know, right?
I know, right?
We just get music for free.
I know
And I
Spotify.
believe
Spotify.
that's another topic for another time. But I will say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
artists are they're getting a little. I think the only kind of income they're making is from their shows.
Hmm.
And I don't know.
We can talk
We
about
can
that in
talk
another
about that in
video.
another
That's
video.
But
another
how
thing.
this
How
But
this
that's
relates to
relates to
KSB,
KSB,
Mr.
Mhm.
Mills
Mills
was
was
directly
directly
opposed
opposed
to, if you
to,
were going
if
to
you
use
were
a
going to
CD
use a CD
burner to
burner to
burn
burn
music
music
CDs,
CDs.
he didn't
He
agree
didn't
with it.
agree with it.
right.
Now, if you
Now, if
used
you
it
used
to,
it
let's
to,
say,
let's say,
save
save
your
your
work, let's
work,
say
let's
your
say
Microsoft
your
Word
Microsoft Word
files
files
or Excel
or
spreadsheets or
Excel
something,
spreadsheets or something,
that way you have it
that way
on a
you have it on a
format that
format
was,
that was,
always with you.
always
You
with
could
you.
take
You
it
could
with you
take it
wherever
with
you
you wherever you
go.
go.
That was
That
different.
was different.
Now, if you
Now, if
used
you
the
used
CD
the CD
burner
burner
for
for
piracy,
piracy,
he was going to
he was
call
going
you
to
out
call
on
you
it.
out on
And
it.
he was
And
right.
he was right.
You know,
You know,
At the time we
at
didn't
the
see
time
it,
we didn't see it,
but looking back in
but looking back in
reflection,
reflection,
yes, Mr. Mills,
yes,
you were
Mr.
very
Mills, you
right.
were very
And
right. And
if you are
if you
watching
are
or
watching
listening,
or
I want to
listening,
say
I want to
thank
say
you
thank you
for
for
all the life
all the life
lessons,
lessons,
all
And
of
thanks for
the,
being a
all of
good
the,
shop teacher. I mean, you're a
yeah,
good
yeah,
shop
your
teacher.
your shop class was
your
the
shop
bomb.
class was the bomb.
Yeah.
So,
So,
yes,
yes,
definitely.
definitely.
Matt, do you have
Matt, do you
anything
have
you want to
anything you
say
want to say
before we
before we
wrap this
wrap
bad
this
boy
bad
up?
boy up?
I'm trying to think we have covered all of our bases.
I believe we've covered
I think we
family.
have, and
Yep.
for those of you who are curious about what the alumni is, which you'll probably do a better job at this. It's just students who basically want to keep up with the school and want to stay in contact with each other. Just kind of never lost that family dynamic. That's kind of while we're still doing this, and we're planning a KSB reunion thing. I don't know when we're gonna do it, but we invite. I
Mhm.
think we have what there's 6 people that can come on, so we got like
Yeah,
four
up to
spots.
six.
Yeah, up to six.
So up to six, so we probably have 4 spots open. If any of
Mhm.
you all are interested, please feel free to jump on. We want to
Yeah,
hear.
let us
Yeah, let us
know, and
know,
we'll
and
set it
we'll
up
set
for
it
a
up
future
for a future
episode.
episode.
Yeah, we'll make sure it happens. But we really want to hear what you all have to say about your time and
At
experience.
KSB, what was it
What
like
was
for
it like for
you?
you?
Yeah,
And if there
And
are
if
any
there are any
students going there
students
now
going there now
that are part of the
that are
current
part of the
KSB, what
current
are your
KSB, what are
experiences
your
like?
experiences like?
Are they
yeah,
similar?
Are
Are
they
they
similar?
different?
Are they different?
yeah, and I'm sure everything changes with the times, which would be another cool thing to kind of hear about is
Oh yeah,
KSB now versus or
back in
when
the
we
Back in the
day,
went
day.
versus like today, which
right?
would be a cool little dynamic to explore. So,
Oh yeah.
Uh,
So, with that
so,
being
with that
said,
being said,
Matt, would you like to let
Matt,
them
would you
know
like
the
to let them know the
plans
plans
for the
for the
summer for this
summer for
series?
this series?
I think what did you say next? The next one will be a summer. It'll be
Well,
a
this
summer
we've
Well,
done
thing.
we've
summer
done summer
graduation and
graduation
family.
and family.
Remember, we
What
were
are
going to
your
take a
Remember, we
little
were
plans?
going to
summer
take a
break of
little
our
summer
own.
break of our own.
Oh well, that's fine with me, dude. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we're taking a little
Yeah, we're
summer
taking a
break,
little summer break.
and then in the
And then
fall,
in the
KSB
fall,
Storytime will
KSB
be back
Storytime will be back
with more great
with more great
episodes and maybe
episodes
even
and
some
maybe even some
guests.
guests.
Yeah, hopefully we can do that.
Yes.
Yes.
So, with that
So with
being
that being
said,
said,
I want to
I want to
say
say
good luck to
good
the
luck to the
2023
2023
KSB
KSB
graduates.
graduates.
Yeah, good luck, and we love you all. Take care of yourselves.
Yes.
Until next time.
Yes.
Yes. And for those of you
Yes.
who
And
are
for
not
those of you who are not
graduating
graduating
at
at
KSB, I would
KSB,
like to
I would
wish
like
the
to wish the
KSB
KSB
staff
staff
and
and
students
students
and faculty
and faculty
a great
a
summer
great summer
2023.
2023.
So, with that being
So
said,
with
for
that being
Matt
said,
Brock,
for Matt Brock,
I've been your
I've
host,
been your host,
saying so long,
saying so long,
everyone,
everyone,
and peace out.
and peace out.